Kwan Theory and the Eternal Dialogue, where science meets the Bhagavad Gita, a reflection inspired by the vision of Naveen. In the quiet depths of human awareness lies a mystery that both science and spirituality have tried to describe in their own language. A connection so profound that it transcends time, matter, and individuality. Modern physics calls it quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where two particles remain connected, influencing each other regardless of distance. The Bhagavad Gita, thousands of years earlier, described the same truth in a language of spirit, as the eternal bond between the self and the divine consciousness. When these two perspectives intertwine, a new vision emerges. Kwan Theory, a concept envisioned by Naveen. Kwan represents the quantum entanglement between the self that lives on Earth and the eternal self that exists beyond time. Two reflections of one consciousness, eternally communicating through the subtle vibrations of existence. 1. The Cosmic Exchange, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, Verse 10. The Gita declares, "By this sacred exchange shall you prosper. Nourish the higher, and the higher shall nourish you in return." To the ancient seer, this was a divine law. To the physicist, it is resonance, energy seeking balance through interaction. Every thought, every act, every intention sends a wave through the universe, and the higher self responds in kind. In Kwan Theory, this is the feedback loop between your human mind and your higher consciousness. A constant exchange of frequency where intention and intuition meet. Your higher self does not command, it collaborates. It mirrors the energy you emit, guiding, aligning, and correcting, much like entangled particles, maintaining harmony across infinite space. 2. The Veil of Distortion, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, Verse 38. The Gita says, "As smoke veils a fire, as dust clouds a mirror, so do desires veil the knowledge of the self." In modern terms, this verse describes informational noise. When the human mind is filled with distractions, ego, and fear, the resonance between the earthly self and the higher self becomes weak. The signal distorts. Kwan Theory views this as a break in coherence between the two entangled states of being. To restore clarity, one must still the noise through awareness, gratitude, and inner silence. The moment your frequency aligns with purity, the quantum bridge reopens. The higher consciousness once again transmits insight, intuition, and calm, your true signal from beyond the physical plane. 3. The Hierarchy of Awareness, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, Verse 42. Krishna explains, "The senses are higher than the body, the mind is higher than the senses, the intellect is higher than the mind, but higher than the intellect is the self." This verse outlines what Kwan Theory calls the spectrum of consciousness. Each layer, the body, senses, mind, and intellect, is an interface through which the Kwan communicates. Yet only when the intellect surrenders to stillness does the final connection occur, the synchronization of the finite self with the infinite consciousness. This is the moment of alignment, the instant when thought ceases and being begins. The entangled selves become one field again, transcending separation, time, and individuality. 4. The Unified Field of Consciousness. Science searches for the unified field that connects all forces of nature. The Gita revealed it long ago as the single consciousness that sustains all forms. Kwan Theory bridges these two, showing that the unified field is not only external, but also internal. Your thoughts, emotions, and awareness are not isolated. They are expressions of the same universal intelligence that moves galaxies. When your consciousness resonates with higher truth, you don't just observe the universe, you participate in its evolution. 5. The Quantum Prayer, listening to the inner signal. When you pause in silence, when thought fades and intuition whispers, that is the Kwan communicating. It is not a voice from above, but a vibration within, encoded in the same field that holds your DNA and the star's light. Every genuine insight, every spark of wisdom, is not new. It is remembered, resonating from your eternal counterpart. In this way, meditation is not escape, it is communication, a dialogue between the two entangled selves. Through stillness, you tune into the eternal frequency of your higher being. Quantum science tells us that reality is non-local, that time and space are not boundaries, but dimensions of perception. The Gita affirms the same truth through Krishna's words. The self neither dies nor is born. Quantum theory interprets this as a continuous wave function of consciousness. Your eternal self is never separate. It is observing, guiding, and evolving through you. Every lifetime, every decision, every thought is part of a single continuum of learning, unfolding through dimensions both seen and unseen. When you understand the Quan, you realize that God is not distant and science is not soulless. Both speak of the same truth, one in the language of energy, the other in the language of divinity. The connection between your finite mind and infinite being is not imagination. It is quantum correspondence, verified not by measurement but by experience. To live in awareness of the Quan is to live as both, the observer and the observed, the drop and the ocean, perfectly entangled in eternity. Closing reflection. The Bhagavad Gita does not belong to any religion. It is a manual of consciousness. Its verses describe not a story of war but of alignment, the struggle between the noise of the world and the clarity of the higher self. Quan theory offers a modern bridge, revealing that the divine dialogue described in the Gita is the same resonance quantum physics now explores. The invisible communication between two connected realities, one eternal, one temporal. You are both. You are the signal and the receiver. You are the consciousness observing itself through matter. And when you remember that truth, you awaken the Quan within.